All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome in. My name is Alexis Miller. I'm one of the yoga instructors here for Yoga for Caregivers. So, this is our weekly stretch session where we really focus on getting into our bodies, stretching ourselves out, getting us ready for the rest of our day and the rest of our week. So, as we move through practice today, let's keep in mind our boundaries. Notice where are you ready to extend into postures? Where do you need to modify and come down to the mat? Or perhaps find your center posture. Also, keep in mind that I don't often cue water, so if and when you feel thirsty, of course, please feel free to step off your mat, grab that drink, and then join us whenever you feel ready. So, with all of that being said, let's go ahead and come into a comfortable seat, whether the legs are crossed or they're straight out in front of you. We're going to wiggle back and forth, rooting into our sits bones, and then we'll sit up nice and tall. We're going to inhale as we bring our shoulders forward and up, and then exhale as we drop them back and down. One more time here. Inhales, they come forward and up. Exhales, they come back and down. You got it. Bringing your hands into a comfortable position. They could be on the knees, palms up or down, or in your lap. You're welcome to close the eyes if you'd like, or just find an unmoving point and soften your gaze here. This year, inspiration for our classes is drawn from the Native American medicine wheel based on Sun Bear's vision. The medicine wheel teaches us about movement and change and offers us insight that will help us learn and grow. As we prepare to leave the red hot phase of the year, now is the time to explore new ideas, initiate change that needs to occur, and listen to the messages that life sends you. The change that comes with this time of year can energize you to start pursuing your goals while also considering the consequences of doing so. Today, as you move through practice, welcome any new ideas that may arise in your mind. Can you explore them further once you're off the mat? So settling in, taking a deep inhale through your nose, filling your belly, lungs, and chest with air. And then slowly exhaling your breath back out. Taking a deep inhale, filling your belly, lungs, and chest with air. And then slowly exhaling that breath back out. Take another deep inhale here as you feel your belly swell outward like a big balloon. And then exhale that breath out as you draw the belly button in toward your spine. Inhale as you feel your torso expand and your collarbones gently lift. And then exhale as you feel your shoulders release down and away from your ears. Inhale, drawing air in your nose, down your throat, filling your lungs. And then exhale as you release that air out your lungs, up your throat, and out your nose. Continuing to breathe deeply here, inhaling and exhaling with intention. Simply noticing the movement of your breath, seeing if you can stay present with it, if you can just feel into that rhythm. Focus on the sensations that the breath brings. This can be hard, so if your mind wanders off or if you get distracted by thoughts or physical sensations, that's okay. The moment that you've noticed the mind has gone away, see if you can turn back to the breath, back to focusing on your inhales and on your exhales. Now, if it makes sense for you, perhaps incorporating a mantra here to help you stay grounded and focused on your breath. Inhale, I open myself. Exhale to new ideas. Inhale, I open myself. Exhale to new ideas. Remaining here with your breath in whatever way best supports you for just a few more moments here today. Take another deep inhale here. Set an intention or a purpose for your practice today, which really can be anything at all, but it often answers the question, why did I get on my mat? Take a nice deep inhale here. Feel your intention with heart and mind. Exhale that breath out. Set the intention off to the side, knowing we'll return to it toward the end of our practice. Good. Now you can remain on your block if you're on a prop, or you can also come sitting down on your mat, but we're going to remain seated. Feel free to move your legs into a different position if that feels good for you. We're going to inhale, bring our arms out to a T, and then exhale, draw your right arm in front of your body, sweep your left arm beneath it, and then bring the forearms to touch in a T, and then draw that right arm across the body for a nice arm stretch. So we're stretching the outside of this right arm into the shoulder and the shoulder blade. This left hand can drop down onto the right arm if that feels better, or you can leave them at a T. It's completely up to you. Take a couple deep breaths here together. And then inhale, release those arms, bring them out to a T. Exhale, we cross the left arm in front this time, sweep that right arm beneath, and then bring those forearms to touch at a T, drawing the left arm across the body. So again, now we're feeling that stretch opposite side through the left arm into the shoulder blade. You can drop the right hand down to the arm if you'd like, or you can leave it at a T here. It's completely up to you. Let's take a couple deep breaths here together. And then inhale, we gently release, bring our arms out to a T. This time, bend the right elbow. Go ahead and bring the small or the hand to the small of the back. And then take that left hand and catch that right elbow here, coming into this nice deep shoulder stretch. So we're feeling that stretch through the tricep, down into the armpit, into that shoulder blade, and then into the upper ribs here. Sitting up nice and tall, shoulders down. Try not to bow out the back, but keeping the tailbone gently tucked, keeping those abs gently engaged here. Let's take a couple deep breaths here together. And then inhale, we gently release, bring those arms out to a T, and then exhale, bend the left elbow, hand comes to the small of the back. Grab that elbow with the right hand, pull that arm toward the midline here, shoulder stretch opposite side. So again, we're feeling that line of stretch, that energy through the outside and the backside of that arm, down into the armpit, into the shoulder, down into the upper rib section here. So notice all of those sensations and then breathing here. Nice work. We release those arms, bring those hands down onto the knees for a moment. If you're on a prop like I am, we're now going to get rid of that, set it off to the side, and find a crisscross applesauce position here. It does not matter which way. We're going to sit up nice and tall, drop the hands down to the mat, and then exhale, walk ourselves forward, coming into a nice seated forward fold here with our legs crossed. So we're starting to dive into the hips here. This is a nice, gentle little stretch to get us open. Forearms can be on the mat, but if you don't go that low, excuse me, your hands can also be on the mat, or you can use props to get even higher. It's completely up to you. Tucking that chin, looking down toward the floor so we have a nice long spine, and then tuning into whichever hip has the leg in front. So for me, that's the right, so I'm feeling into my right hip right now. Let's take a couple deep breaths. All right, inhale, plant those hands, walk ourselves back up into center. Now, crisscross of your applesauce. So for me, means my left leg comes in front. It's going to feel a little awkward. This is probably not the natural position we take when we sit cross-legged. So just finding that opposite side here. Inhale, lengthening through the spine, hands drop onto the mat, and then exhale, walk yourself forward here. Nice gentle hip stretch, opposite side. So take your body across the midline and feel into the opposite hip here. Notice sensations that are present. Find that comfortable spot for the arms or the hands. And then again, we're tucking the chin, really lengthening through the neck here. So wherever you are, let's take a couple deep breaths together. Nice work. Inhale, we plant the hands, walk ourselves up into center. Good. We're going to come onto the knees here, like we're standing on our knees. So if you have sensitive knees, you can always roll your mat, get a blanket or something else to place under the knees to make this a little more gentle for those sensitive parts of the body. All right. So coming, excuse me, weight comes into your right knee. Extend your left leg long here. Good. Toes are pointing in the same direction as your torso. We're going to inhale, sweep tall with our right arm, and then exhale, slide our left arm along the left leg, coming into our nice side body stretch. So wherever the hand is, it could be on the thigh, it can be on the shin, it can be on a prop like a block, or if you have a coffee table or couch, or it can even be down on the mat. We just don't want it on the knee and creating that deep lateral pressure on the knee here. It's no bueno. Okay, so stay away from that. Now reaching over with that right hand and then feeling that pull through the right side body into the upper hip here. Yeah, breathing. Good. Inhale, we sweep that right arm up, lifting our torso here, moving props so they are out of your way. Now turn your toes so they're facing the ceiling here. Hinge at the hips, lean forward, bring your hands down to the mat. So you can stay right here. We're already feeling a stretch to the inside of that left leg. You can hinge forward here, leaning down. You can also sink your hips back onto that right heel, getting an even deeper stretch through the inside of that left leg. So wherever you are, keeping that foot gently flexed, toes pointing toward the top of the room as much as possible, breathing. If you need blocks or another prop under your hand, of course, please feel free to modify in that way. Let's take a couple deep breaths together. And then we inhale, come up onto that knee once again. Turn that foot down. So again, toes are pointing straight in front of you. Take that right arm out to the side and then drop that hand down to the floor. We want that right hand beneath the shoulder. So we're creating that nice strong foundation. Bring your left hand onto your hip to start. Now you can either stay here in modified star. This is great. Or you can inhale, lift that left foot maybe a couple inches off the mat or bring it all the way up so it's in line with your hip here. Working on our balance here, avoid bowing out the back, but instead keep that core engaged, tailbone slightly tucked here. If you'd like, sweep that left hand up toward the sky, wherever you are, taking a couple deep breaths here. All right, inhale, drop that foot down. Go ahead, sweep that left arm down. Come on up into center. Drop your right or left knee down here. And now this time, extend your right leg out to the side. So again, toes are pointing forward. We're going to inhale, sweep tall with that left arm. Exhale, slide that right arm around, along the right leg, coming into this side body stretch, opposite side. Feeling the pull all the way into the top of that left hip. Hand is not on the knee. It could be on a block or another prop. Again, noticing where are you here today and breathing. Inhale, come on up into center. Turn your right toes so now they're facing the ceiling. Good. Hands come down to the mat, hinge here. So again, maybe this is enough. You're feeling that stretch right in through the inside of that right leg. You can put props here, hands on blocks if you'd like. You can hinge forward even more, or you can sink your hips back onto that heel. Notice what feels right for you. Again, we're targeting the inside of that thigh. If you're feeling it in your hamstrings instead, that is just where you're tighter. So that's where it's going to be, your awareness is going to go because you're going to be feeling the stretch more. But don't worry, you're still getting the stretch that we're aiming for here and just a little extra love as well. Breathing. Nice work. We inhale, come on up into center. Once again, turn those toes so they're facing down in the same direction as your torso. Left arm comes out here. Drop that left arm down. We want to make sure that it's beneath the shoulder here, creating that solid foundation. Right hand to hip to start. You can stay here. Option is to lift the right foot slightly off the mat or bring it all the way up so it's in line with your hip here. Good. You can sweep that right arm toward the sky if you want. Core is engaged. We're not bowing out the back, tucking the tailbone slightly. Let's take a couple deep breaths here together. Inhale, we drop that right foot down. Go ahead and sweep ourselves up into center. Good. Drop down onto your knees. Come onto your mat so you're long way here. Plant the hands down onto the mat. On the inhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips into a down dog. Let's walk out our dog, find a couple little movements here. Welcoming some movement into those hips, into the back of the legs. Take a nice deep inhale here. And then a nice deep exhale. Take a nice deep inhale here. And then a nice deep exhale. Inhale, we look up between the hands. Let's baby step those feet to the top of the mat. Come right into a halfway lift. So your knees are slightly bent. Your torso is parallel with the floor. Back flat, shoulders down. Hands are on thighs or shins. Gaze is toward the floor here. Let's take a nice deep inhale. And then exhale, sink into your forward fold. Tuck your chin like between your legs. Now, your arms can hang limp. You can palm the mat. You can bring pinkies to opposite crooks of the elbows. We're really tucking our chins so you're looking back behind you here. To spice up this posture, you're also welcome to inhale, sweep your arms up around behind you, interlace those fingers and rest them on the sacrum. To take this posture to the next level, really make it spicy. Inhale, lift those arms up off the back as far as you're able. This is a wonderful heart opener. It's a great shoulder and neck opener here. It's also going to deepen that forward fold. So notice where you are, not pushing yourself further than you're ready, and breathing deeply. You're in an inversion, so we don't want you passing out and falling over from the blood rush to the head. Breathing. All right. Inhale, we release those hands down to the mat. Bend the knees deeply, planting the hands. Step back into your plank position here. Hands are beneath shoulders, balls of the feet are beneath the heels. You're one long line from shoulders to heels. If you need to modify, drop the knees, but keep them at an angle so the core stays engaged here. Take a nice deep inhale here. Exhale that breath out. On the next inhale, step your left foot to the outside of your left hand, plant your right hand on the mat, and then sweep tall with your right arm or left arm coming into that revolved lunge. We're getting a nice deep twist into the spine, feeling that pull through that right hip flexor. Nice stretch in the left hip. Deep inhale. Exhale, hand drops back down to the mat. Step back into your plank. Good. On the next inhale, step your right hand or right foot to the outside of the right hand. Plant your left hand. Inhale, sweep open with your right arm. So now you can see it on the other side, keeping that hand planted, feeling the deep pull through the left hip flexor, stretch in the right hip. Good. Deep inhale. Exhale, hand comes down to the mat, step back into plank. Good. One more deep inhale here. You can do it. Exhale, bend at your elbows, lower all the way down to the mat, and then untuck your toes. Inhale, plant your elbows, plant your forearms, lift your torso, come into Sphinx. So shoulders are down. We're drawing our elbows into our spine. Our gaze and chest is forward and proud. Really feel into that decompression in the low spine here, releasing the glutes. Now, if you have neck issues, you're welcome to stay in neutral. Otherwise, if you'd like, inhale, lift the chin up toward the sky, feel the pull through the neck, the sternum down into the abs. Exhale, drop the chin down to the chest, feel the pull through the back of the neck into the upper spine between the shoulder blades here. Inhale up into neutral. Exhale down to the mat, hands beneath the shoulders. Inhale, pop into your child's pose here, knees tight or wide, whatever you prefer. Take a couple deep breaths here, tune into your body, notice what is present. And then on the next inhale, come on up onto your knees here. We're going to make our way right onto our back. So if you need a towel off, grab a drink of water, put on socks or a jacket. Now is the moment. We will not sit up for the rest of our practice. So coming onto your back, give yourself a little squeeze with the knees into the chest here for just a moment. And then releasing the soles of those feet down to the floor. Find a relaxation pose. It's up to you. You can stay right here. For many people, this is what is best for their back. You can allow the knees to fall open wide, recline down angle. You can find fallen tree. One leg extends, the other stays in. You can extend both legs for traditional final relaxation. Arms can find that position that feels good for you, whatever that may look like. You can also lay on your side or on your belly if you prefer. Or you can even come into seated and just treat this final part as a seated meditation. Whatever feels good for you, whatever brings the most comfort to your body that is available today, I welcome you to find your way into that position. And as you settle in, allowing your breath to settle into its own rhythm or cadence, and simply begin to notice, what does it feel like here? Notice how fast or slow it has become, how deep or shallow. See if there's any places in your body where you're still clenching or holding tension. And see if on the next inhale you can release that holding, release that tension, Just ease yourself into this space, into this moment. Just remain here with the breath and notice its movements. But if your mind gets distracted and starts to wander off, that's okay. Draw yourself back to the breath, back to focusing on being fully present right here, right now. If it feels right for you, you can come back to the mantra we used at the beginning of our practice. Inhale, I open myself. Exhale to new ideas. Inhale, I open myself. Exhale to new ideas. Remaining here with your breath in whatever way best supports you for just a few more moments here today. I'm going to get quiet for this final part of practice so you can have it to yourself. Please know that I'm watching the time. I most certainly respect yours, and I will let you out of this posture before the end of practice. So leaning back, letting go, just resting right here. Liberation means transforming and transcending the conditions of anger, sorrow, agitation, and fear in order to be fully awake, at ease, peaceful, joyful, and fresh. Bringing your awareness back to this space, taking a deep inhale through your nose, filling your belly, lungs, and chest with air, before slowly exhaling that breath back out. Take another deep inhale as you begin to wiggle fingers and toes. Move your arms and legs, gently waking your body up. When it feels right for you, rolling onto one side and pausing there for a moment. It's here that I invite you to bring back to mind your intention or your purpose that you set at the beginning of your practice that answered the question, why did I get on my mat? Take a deep inhale, make your way on up into a seated position as we close out practice together today. So finding your comfortable seat, rooting into your sits bones, sitting up nice and tall. We inhale as we draw the shoulders forward and up, and then we exhale as we drop them back and down. Hands find a comfortable position here, closing the eyes if you'd like. We take a moment to express gratitude for yet another lovely day here on earth and for our bodies that allow us to do so many things, including yoga. Thank you all so much for allowing me to guide you through this practice today. It was a joy and an honor, and I hope to be able to do so again in the future. The light in me, it sees the light in you. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me here for your weekly stretch session with Yoga for Caregivers. Again, my name is Alexis Miller. I'm here every Wednesday at 9 a.m., so make sure to mark your calendars and set your alarms to join me. You can find Yoga for Caregivers on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn. So make sure to connect with us there to be part of the community and to access all of the resources that we make available to you, the caregivers. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. I'll see you next time. Bye.